One of my favourite places to visit in the UK is Woburn Safari Park. I just love nature and wild animals. This is just outside the actual park, but you will come across other animals like deer before you even enter the park. So, Woburn Safari Park is located in Bedfordshire. It's quite a big park. It's about 360 acres and it has a lot of wild and domestic animals to see. The big part of it is a drive-through safari. You can do unlimited rounds for the day which your ticket is valid, but I think you can only enter from the time your ticket is valid from. So if you book a ticket from 11 a.m., you cannot enter at 9 a.m.
Where's the "you are here" bit? It doesn't say "you are here." Okay.
I wonder what he's doing. You can buy the tickets online or at the gate, but I recommend that you get the tickets online beforehand because when it's really busy, the tickets get sold out, so you don't want to make your way there for nothing. Here are some of the biggest land mammals, the southern white rhinos. That rhymes. If you see a white rhino, most likely it's a southern white rhino. The northern white rhinos are nearly extinct. The only known northern white rhinos are in Kenya, and there's only 2 of them remaining. The southern white rhinos are classified as nearly threatened. This is because over the decades they have been poached. So they're poached for their horns, mainly for the Asian market, particularly China and Vietnam. The horns are used for traditional medicine and carvings. Some wealthy people just buy as a trophy to show off their wealth. A lot of wild animals are actually under threat due to poaching. So a lot of countries have banned hunting wild animals in general, which makes the horns extremely rare. And some wealthy people just feel the need to own them just to show off or feel special about themselves. Here's the Asian elephant. They're really small compared to the African bush elephants. African bush elephants can weigh up to 6,000 kilograms. The Asian ones can weigh up to 4,000 kilos. The African bush elephant is also a lot taller. The park has an amazing elephant show that gives you more information about elephants and how they live at the park.
Tali, who's just there next to the keepers,
Yeah.
so she is 9.
Yeah.
Shamrika, who's just in front here, she's 32. And Damini is 30.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So our male Raja is also 30, and our eldest female using, she's 45.
Is she the one who's on her own?
Yeah, so she's quite happy out there.
Oh.
So how long can they live up to?
About 60 or 80.
Is that on demand?
Yes, so yes, they've got some nice apple browse, so it tastes quite nice and sweet.
We were just watching how they were running. Like they know, don't they?
Yeah.
Not donkeys.
So the elephants have 5 nails at the front feet and 4 nails in the back feet, and these nails have to be trimmed and cut about every week just to make sure they don't get too overgrown, because they grow just like horses' hooves. They constantly grow, so they constantly have to be looked after and trimmed. If you look at Shadrika on the left-hand side, you'll see on her left foot, it's quite white and shiny. That's because she had a bit of foot care done this morning. So once we've asked the feet, we'll ask elephants to come down to our level. So as you can see, without the tallest of keepers, it's much easier to ask elephants to lie down for us. You can then check their back and their body overall, make sure they've got no scrapes or cuts we need to be concerned about. But whilst in this position, it's really important to check behind the ear of the elephant. The reason we get behind the ear of the elephant is that's where we take blood from elephants. So we are trained here at the park to take blood withdrawals whenever we need to, just to make sure that the elephants are as healthy on the inside as they are on the outside. So once we take these blood samples, we then send them off to the vets. The vets can then check them, make sure they're all happy and healthy. But obviously, while they're in this decision as well, we'll be washing them as well sometimes, just to give them a bit of a bath, because sometimes they can get a bit smelly. So we'll be washing all the mud and all the dirt off their backs and make sure they're nice and clean and healthy. Obviously, they don't stay clean for very long because they are elephants. They go back out into the paddocks and dust themselves and make themselves all muddy again. Once they're then happy, we'll get them into what we call a hip or a half position. This just means elephants will sit up for us. We can check their ear that they've been laying down on, and we can also check their eyes in this position. So make sure their eyes are nice and clear and alert. Then we'll get them up onto their feet. That's then their health routine and their morning routine then finished. The elephants then sent out into the paddock for the day, and they can enjoy being elephants and making lots of mess. And obviously we can enjoy being keepers and staying behind and clearing up all the mess. So if you'd like to give our keepers and of course our elephants a lovely round of applause for doing their behaviours today. Lovely. So just to finish up, folks, so like I said briefly, we do take our elephants, these 3 elephants, out on walks. So sometimes when you come to the safari park, especially in the late afternoons, and you don't necessarily see the elephants out in their paddock, don't be too disheartened, because that just means that they're probably out in the evergreens, which is a 500-acre forest. They're probably out there having a wonderful time. So like I say, if you come, you don't necessarily see all the elephants. You still see some of our elephants, because some elephants are out in separate enclosures, which they can be seen. But these 3 will be out enjoying the walks around the estate. But that does bring us to the end of the talk now, folks. So myself and the other keepers will be coming round. We'll be coming round with the wristbands for the charities, like I said.
When we were driving through the area where most of the herbivores are basically animals who feed on plants only. So giraffes, zebras. So here, like the giraffes were actually crossing the road and they came so close to the cars. Sometimes animals are quite far away and really hard to see. In this case, we got lucky that they came so close and we got a good view of them. You're not allowed to drive closer to them, so you have to remain on the paved road. I really like the splits they do when they eat from the ground. I also feel like giraffes are so underrated. They're so unique looking compared to a lot of other animals. Last year around the same time, I was actually on a car safari as well in Malawi. The experience is so different. I guess since these animals are in captivity, you get to see so many at once, like in a zoo. Whereas the safari in Malawi, the land is bigger, the animals are meant to be in their natural habitats, and they fend for themselves, whereas these ones are given everything, so they don't need to be going out looking for food. There's also more security for the carnivores. The carnivores are animals that eat other animals. There's more security so that they don't get to the herbivores, otherwise then they'll just be eating everything. So with the safari parks in Malawi, particularly Liwonde National Park, you may not get to see the animals you expected, but you will be surprised with the animals you were not expecting. In Woburn, however, you can have a tick list and you'll see about 80% of your expectations. Another thing I noticed is that the carnivores in Malawi seem to be in much better shape, especially the lions. They looked way more athletic and toned. These ones, they look like they've never skipped a meal in their lives. And I don't know what it is. They seem to have this kind of infection, which is weird considering how much medical treatment they get. I guess maybe because they're not meant to be in this type of climate. They're still amazing to look at though. I like how they look like they're looking down on you, which really fits the whole King of the Jungle vibe. By the way, why do we call them the King of the Jungle when they're not even from the jungle? They're from the savannah. One good thing about lions is that they're territorial, so they will be around the same area for a long time. So if they're close to the road, you will get a good view. In this park, you can do as many rounds as you want, but you have to keep moving because you need to give other people a chance. So you can go around and see them several times, but you're not allowed to actually just park there and stare at them. There's always someone who takes too long to move along, so there is going to be somebody who's going to park there, but the staff would ask them to move if they do so. The area where the lions are is always crowded. I guess lions are very special. I think lions and monkeys get the most attention in this park. When you're around the carnivores or the whole time during the car safari, you're not meant to open your car windows because they don't want you making the animals sick. And of course, the carnivores don't play. During this trip, some people actually would get so excited around the carnivores and they would open their windows and start taking pictures. I mean, I don't know if they thought the animals cannot attack, because, I don't know, maybe they're in a park or something, but these are wild animals. You have to know what you're doing before you get too comfortable. I mean, I get it. Some of them look harmless, some of them look like they're overgrown rats, but you never know. I actually thought these were kangaroos, then I found out they're wallabies. Wallabies look a lot like kangaroos, but a lot smaller. If you squint, they really look like rats. I always see videos of kangaroos fighting, so when I initially thought these were kangaroos, I was extremely cautious. I thought a fight could break out at any time. But these ones were actually really sweet, just overwhelmed with the visitors. I just wish they had more staff around here because some people were doing way too much to get their attention. This is one of my favorite areas in Woburn. The monkeys just hop on people's cars. You're still not allowed to touch or feed them, as you guessed it, some people still do, but if you're caught, you will be escorted out of the park. I don't know what this one was eating, maybe some bugs. I have to say, unless the monkeys are right on your windscreen, you cannot really see them if they're on top of your car. You will just hear some movement, and of course, open tops are not allowed. So another good way of spotting them is if they're on top of somebody else's car, or if you have some kind of a top window. Woburn actually does have safari cars with top windows, so you can get VIP tickets to tour in one of them. I wonder what this lot was arguing about though.
Oh, damn. There's another one coming. Look, there's another one coming. There's another one jumping on there. They're gonna have 4. Oh my god, you got 4 monkeys. There's a meeting on top of the car, bro. Oh my god. That's jokes.
You have to form 2 lanes in this park, but some people don't listen. They will form just 1 lane even though there are signs everywhere to form 2 lanes. Eventually, you will have to deal with somebody who's not following the rules and will be slowing everyone down. I've just figured out that I actually didn't see any reptiles. The aquatic animals are so entertaining. I wish I had more footage of them. Penguins are so loud and so adorable. They're actually my favorite animals. These are Humboldt penguins from South America. They can cope with warmer weather compared to the ones from Antarctica like the emperor penguins. On this area, you get to visit King Julian. If you know, you know. These are ring-tailed lemurs. They're endemic to Madagascar. After this trip, I absolutely love them. It was my first time seeing them in person, actually. Unfortunately, this species is now classified as endangered. This is mainly due to human-induced habitat loss. So, like most of the wild animal enclosures in this park, you are not allowed to touch the lemurs. But this one came up to me.
Okay. Stand up for me. Just stand up.
Oh, that was amazing.
So oily though, these chips. And fish. The park has restaurants. The variety is limited though. You'd think they would have a lot more restaurants considering how many visitors they get per day. More restaurants are needed because this is a whole day's trip. To get to the park would be a long journey to begin with, especially if you don't live in Bedfordshire. It would not make sense to only spend an hour or 2. I mean, to do the car safari, there's also traffic. As I said, some people block the roads. And to get to the aquatic animals, the food safari, it would take a few hours. There's so much to do, you're definitely going to get hungry. You can actually also do zip lining in this park. They've got this gift shop as well, so you can get some souvenirs. If you're wondering what's the best time to visit the park and to avoid most of the tomfoolery, well, if you can go on a weekday, I highly recommend it. On weekends, it's just so busy. I went on a bank holiday. I really don't recommend this. It was so packed. Unless you need to visit with kids, then go ahead since they have to be in school during the quiet times. Make sure you check the weather as well, because if you just go on any random day and if it rains, you won't be able to see a lot of the animals and you will not get a refund for it, because the park needs to keep some of the animals indoors. Some of them can get affected by the rain or if it's too cold. As you know, some of them are from warm climates and they won't be able to cope if it's too cold or too rainy. Woburn is committed to animal conservation and is involved in international breeding programs to help save endangered species. So it tries to put safety of the animals first and not your entertainment. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.